Pass rusher Kayvon Thibodeaux to the Chicago Bears. This rumor is making waves throughout the media. The Giants now feature a surplus of talent at defensive end after drafting Abdul Carter to pair with Brian Burns. And the Giants also selected Kayvon Thibodeaux in the top five, giving them three premier edge rushers on their roster. Most of the media expected New York to facilitate a trade and move on from Thibodeaux during the NFL draft. That simply did not happen, and New York actually would go on and pick up his fifth-year option for 2026. Now some are questioning if they want to trade him at all, while others believe the fifth-year option makes Thibodeaux more valuable as a trade chip. Instead of being in the final year of his deal and him either getting a mega contract or leaving in free agency next year, now any team that trades for him, they get him for 2 years before they would have to sign him to a new deal. So arguably, he is worth more in a trade right now than he was before the Giants picked up his option. However, there is one thing that's being overlooked by the media here. It's that the Giants love having a surplus of pass rushers. This is something this franchise has done repeatedly over the last 20 years, and they've had a ton of success doing it. Remember that defense that shut down Tom Brady in the Super Bowl? The first time it happened, they had four premier pass rushers: Michael Strahan, O.C. Omenura, Justin Tuck, and they had Matthias Kiwanuka. But then after Michael Strahan retired, they would replace him with Jason Pierre-Paul while continuing to develop Matthias Kiwanuka. This is a franchise that continues to overstock the defensive end position. So when most people in the media see that, they assume that this team is going to trade him. But there's also the possibility here that the Giants want to have one of the best pass rushes in the league, and they're going to keep Thibodeaux for at least 2025. Next year, his contract does cost a lot more, so the odds of him getting traded before 2026 goes up. So this is a thought process I believe the Giants could have. They could ease Abdul Carter into action this year while still having a dominant pass rush in 2025. And then next year, they could still look to trade Kayvon Thibodeaux. But right now, I think in order to trade for this guy, you would have to give the Giants a sweet deal, and most teams probably aren't willing to give up what the Giants want. So most likely this is a guy who will get traded next offseason or stay in New York for 2 more years and then hit free agency in 2027. But with all that said, would he fit the Chicago Bears? My answer to this question is a resounding yes. As far as a player, he would fit perfectly across from Montez Sweat. He's 6'4", 260 pounds. He ran a 4.58 40, and he's another extremely athletic edge rusher. He scored a 9.67 on his relative athletic score, but he also has been productive. He had 11 and a half sacks in 2023. And people want to point to his production falling off a bit last season, but he still had 5.5 sacks in just 12 games. He did miss 5.5 games, and he still would have tied for the team lead in sacks for the Bears. 5.5 is what Montez Sweat had all year, and that is with him having a down year. He has 21 sacks through 3 seasons in the NFL, and this is a guy who's flashed Pro Bowl type of upside. The biggest question with him right now is, will the Giants trade him? What do they want in return as far as draft pick compensation? And how much money is Kayvon going to want to be paid? And then the bonus question: is this the type of guy who will get better after getting a big contract, or will his play fall off? Those are the questions that really matter right now when it comes to the Chicago Bears. I believe sitting here today, the chances of us trading for Kayvon Thibodeaux before the season starts are pretty low. Probably slim to none. But I wouldn't rule it out completely. It's just not something I would count on. So take these rumors with a grain of salt. Most likely he's going to remain in New York for this year, and then he'll be traded in the offseason or potentially as a trade deadline candidate. But the writing is on the wall for his time in New York, similar to Braxton Jones with the Bears. And there's an idea for you. What if the Giants want a little bit of offensive line help? Anyone who's listening out there, Braxton Jones plus maybe a fourth or fifth round pick for Kayvon Thibodeaux, Wouldn't hurt to ask, you know what I mean? But you can never have enough pass rushers, and the Super Bowl showed us that. And one more possibility to consider here is us being interested just to keep him away from the Packers or Lions. Both of those teams are always looking for additional pass rush help, but let me know in the comments how you guys would feel about Kayvon Thibodeaux, whether or not you expect him to get traded. Remember to hit that like button for me, stay tuned, and until next time, bear down.